What's up, everybody? The History Guy here, and had a couple of suggestions to try out some Men of War Assault Squad 2. So I thought I would do that today, but not in the typical way. I'm not going to play the base game. I wanted to play a little further back historical scenarios that are available. There's a lot of mods available for this game, all available on the Steam Workshop. Real easy to add. And so I have actually added the Born in the Fire America mod for this game. Now, a couple of things up front I want to say. Number one, I'm a complete and total noob at this game. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. So I thought with that in mind, I'd start with a sure loss. So nobody can complain that I lose this battle because I'm not supposed to win this battle. And instead what we'll do is we'll just kind of get a look at how the gameplay is. At the same time, talk a little bit about the historic Battle of the Alamo. So that's what we're going to do today, and that's one of the missions that are available in this mod. You've got Freedom Trail, which is a campaign for the Continental Army, 1775 to 1783. But then you have these bonus missions. Now, I'm going to turn Fog of War off so we can see everybody easier. You've got some really great ones here. You've got the Battle of the Alamo. You've got Jamestown, all the way back to the early 1600s. You have Custer's Last Stand, which I'm going to love playing. And you even have the Battle of Hampton Roads, which is the historic Monitor and the Merrimack, that first battle between ironclads. Technically not the Monitor and the Merrimack, it's the Monitor and the Virginia, but that will be a discussion for when we play that one. For today, we're going to take on the Alamo. March 6, 1836, we are the fewer than 200 Texian forces, as they were known, defending the old mission in what is now San Antonio, Texas. Called the Alamo, and of course people all recognize that familiar, like the facade of the mission itself, that main building, but that was really only one small part of this huge, I shouldn't say huge, of this complex that was being defended by less than 200 men against an army of Mexicans, somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000. I think about 2,000, maybe 1,800 actually assaulted the Alamo mission on that day. So there's no chance we're going to win. And that's good because I really don't know what I'm doing. We're just going to have some fun, and we're going to watch the battle unfold, and we'll talk a little bit about the historic Battle of the Alamo. Now, I should say one other thing up front on this game. There is some language being shouted by the men. Now, I turned it down so it won't be as loud, but I didn't want to turn it off. So be prepared. There is some language. I try to keep this a family-friendly channel. So now you know up front that will be something we're dealing with. So, all right, so of course, we have the infamous Davy Crockett. I shouldn't say infamous. The famous Davy Crockett was here, as well as a man called William Barrett Travis and Jim Bowie, who were the three kind of commanders of various parts of the troops that were here. You can see way out here is where all the Mexican forces are, and they're going to be coming in at me. I'm going to wait to see who assaults first before I decide where I'm going to put my men. Now, it's really cool because each one of these men has their own name, has their own kind of personality and equipment and everything. So I'm actually going to go ahead and start putting some men up on these walls. I'm going to put a few inside this building here. And then we'll get the rest of them into position as we move along here. So yeah, the whole siege itself of the Alamo lasted for a couple of weeks. I think from about February 22nd, 23rd. Whoa, some cannon fire coming in there. The final assault happened very early in the morning, before daybreak on March 6th. I think it started sometime around maybe 5:30 in the morning, but it was actually very cold that night. It was early March, and even in Texas, they have cold nights, and they had a very cold night that day. It was also the first time in a couple of weeks that the Mexicans had actually stopped their bombardment, and that was done on purpose, because obviously if you're under continuous fire and surrounded by 2,000 men, and there's only, you're outnumbered 10-1, and you're kind of trapped in an area where you're probably facing certain death unless you get reinforcements. It was hard to sleep. And so when they stopped the bombardment, it was the first time a lot of these men had a decent night's sleep, which was intentional by Santa Anna, so that the defenders would be sleeping when the attack came. Now here comes the first attack. There were a few men posted out as kind of lookouts that were supposed to warn the defenders inside if a attack was coming, but of course they were sleeping, and so they were, I think, bayoneted in their sleep. For all the complaints about the Disney version that came out, I don't know what, 15 years ago or so, directed by Ron Howard, the Alamo, it sticks for the most part to the history of what happened, even down to those men being bayoneted at night. Little things that they really include that actually are the way they happened or could have happened, because we don't necessarily know exactly what happened. For example, one source says that Davy Crockett was one of about 5 or 6 men who actually were captured alive at the end of this battle and then executed afterward by Santa Anna, and that's how they show it happen in the movie. But other sources said that he was found dead inside with something like 16 Mexican bodies around him. There were, I believe, 3 assaults on the Alamo that morning, and the first 2 were turned back before eventually the defenders were overwhelmed by the third one. I don't know if we can get this into position or not. How do we turn it? Like I said, I'm still learning how this works. There we go. See what we can do to fire on these guys. So, up until the very end, the defenders believed they were going to be reinforced. In fact, there was a group of, I think, like 300 men under Colonel Fannin that set out to come and reinforce. And honestly, 300 additional troops, if they were able to get into the fort through the Mexican lines, probably would have been enough to hold it. Because by the time this battle was over, the barely 200 men inside the Alamo had inflicted something like 30% casualties on the 1,800-man Mexican assault force. They killed they inflicted 400 to 600 casualties. Imagine another 300 men on top of the 190 or so that were in there. Probably would have been enough to hold the fort. What is this guy doing? Why is he out there? Get back in here. I will say the commentary from the troops is pretty funny, if a bit crude, but I'm sure that was probably historical. I wonder where Davy Crockett is in here. Now there's William Travis. So Travis is the commander, at least one of the commanders. He was actually one of the very first people who died during the battle, and they showed that in the movie. He was, when the Mexicans got up against the wall, it meant that the defenders had to start actually leaning over the wall to fire on the men down below, and it exposed them to Mexican fire. And he was aiming a shotgun down at somebody at the base of the wall when he was shot in the head. He was one of the very first people to die. Of course, Jim Bowie, who was famous for his Bowie knife, was inside. He had consumption, tuberculosis. Whoa! And was killed in his bed. Alright, we've got an attack coming from this side now, so we're going to have to get some men up there to deal with that. How do we get people in here? Let's get some up on this wall. These guys are laying down. Alright, let's get a few up on this wall over here, too. Man, here they come. So it was the third assault that actually eventually did everybody in and get these guys up on their feet. And it just became too many for the defenders to deal with. And there was that famous scene that probably happened in some way, probably the day before when they knew the attack was imminent, where Travis is said to have drawn a line in the sand with his sword and asked for men to step over if they were willing to die defending. The line in the sand part might be myth, but he did basically explain the situation to everyone and let them know that there probably was no hope at that point, that they were all probably going to die if they stayed to defend the fort, which they did. Davy Crockett had been a congressman from Tennessee, and there's that famous line that he is said to have spoken, and I think they showed this in the movie too. where he decides he's coming to Texas, and he tells the people in Tennessee, he said, you all can go to hell, I'm going to Texas. And he was kind of a folklore hero, and I love how the movie deals with that. First of all, I'm a huge fan of Billy Bob Thornton, the actor, as well as Dennis Quaid, who plays Sam Houston in the movie. I think they both did a great job. And, you know, they show Davy Crockett kind of dealing with the mythology of Davy Crockett versus who he really was. And I love there's this one scene where he says, if it was just plain old David, I'd probably slip over that wall and take my chances. But he remembers that he's Davy Crockett, and he's larger than life, and he's kind of this folk hero. And I should probably have my cannons doing something. I don't know how to do that yet, so let's see how we get these guys firing on this line. Here we go. Let's see if this works. All right. I don't know if it's going to make any difference, but got some Mexicans down here. These guys way off in the distance. Let's see if this works. I want to see if any of these men fall the next time. Fire on them. Come on, hit them. Alright guys, let's get up on this wall instead of just laying there like that. Especially you, sir. You're out in the open. A little too much. Alright, here they come. They're getting across the river now. Wow. This is going to get ugly. Fire that cannon on these guys. So it said that they didn't have traditional kind of cannon or grape shot. So what they did was they were just grabbing anything metal, including door hinges, and loading it in the cannon, trying to take out as many men as they could. And one of the Mexican sources says that one shot from one of those cannons actually took out half a company. Barricade the entrance to the mission. Nah, we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to fight this thing out. Here they come. They're actually inside the fort already. That's unfortunate. Let's get some men in there to deal with that. Stand up, guys. Come on. But I'm gonna learn this game. I don't know it yet. I know there's a lot to it, including being able to actually, you can go out and like forage through dead soldiers and take their guns and their ammo and stuff. There's a lot of that stuff. I'm basically just kind of playing this out just to give a good glimpse of what it looks like. Here are these guys in the doorway, and they're trying to deal with these Mexicans. See if they shoot this guy that's kind of hanging out by himself. Looks like he's safe where he is. Of course, Santa Anna had raised a flag over the town of Béxar, which is now San Antonio, basically telling the defenders of the Alamo there'd be no quarter. He considered them to be like pirates, and he felt that they weren't, you know, an opposing army. They were pirates who deserved to be killed on sight or when they were captured. So all the men inside knew that there was no surrender. I've got to get another man up on this wall here, if I've got any to spare somewhere. Let's get one of these guys over there. Intensified fire in the mission area. Step back from the walls. Nah, let's take our chances. I know the artillery fire is coming. Oh man, did I just lose the other guys on that wall? I did. Okay, we got our new guy up there now. I need to get a few more on that spot.
How can I help you? How can I help you?
I gotta get these guys in the window instead of just kind of randomly where they are. There we go. Let's see if Travis is still alive. I don't even know where Davy Crockett is. He's got to be around here somewhere. I think he was manning one of these like barricades rather than an actual wall. There's got to be a way to actually find him, right? I'm just gonna start going through all these guys. There's Davy Crockett. Oh, he's down in here in the center still. They've bypassed us. If they get through the mission before we get to it, we have a lid. However, as is any other case. Okay. Oh, jeez. They just hammered that spot up here and took out everybody that was in there. Alright, you guys, get on your feet. Get up here and fight.
You son of a whore! Tell me, sir.
Alright, Davy Crockett. There he is right there with his Kentucky rifle. Let's get him up on the wall where he can do some damage. Come on, Davy. Stand up. These guys are manning this mortar here. See if we can do something with that. Probably should have been doing that the whole way along. Alright, we're going to watch Davy Crockett here for a minute, see what he's up to. Where is he? Oh, he's over here. Looks like they're climbing the floor. Oh, he's even got his coonskin cap on. Of course he does. Alright, here they come. They're going to break through here in a minute. The whole battle, the Mexicans were inside of the fort within about 15 minutes of the start of the fight, and I think the whole thing was over within an hour. Some of the men were able to kind of barricade themselves inside some of the buildings inside, which was the plan. They had made that plan ahead of time. Here's the part that you're used to seeing right here, the famous part of the Alamo. We got some guys that are still in there fighting. And this is actually what happened. The one side of the fort was actually still holding pretty well when the other side actually gave way. So I think we're gonna pull these artillerymen off and go ahead and get them to the other side to try and defend the fort.
Over there.
No, I guess we can't.
You just made the last mistake and you're sad, sorry, miserable.
Alright, let's get these guys over here. Let me get a few of them up on this wall. I'm gonna take as many of them with us as we can. Get off the ground and run. Oh, dude. Artillery. It's brutal. So if you know some helpful hints about how this game works and some good things to know, please feel free to use the comment section below and kind of fill everybody in who might be interested in this game. I think it's like 30 bucks on Steam. And then, of course, you can add all the mods to it. There's a great one for the Battle of Bunker Hill that I'll definitely do at some point. I don't think we want to get even more guys up on that area yet. Hanging on for dear life, best I can. Wish I knew, there might be a way to know, but I'm not sure what it is. Wish I knew a way to know exactly how many men I have left compared to him. Get behind the barricade, please. Oh, that artillery. I basically have no barricade left at this point. Let's see where they're coming through. I mean, they're still closest on that side there. Of course, I have it on easy mode, which might have something to do with the fact that I still am holding on. Let's see who's still alive in here. I wonder if all of these names correspond to actual Alamo defenders. We have a pretty good list of who was there. I'd have to look and compare that. But Davy Crockett's still alive. And you can actually, like, you can see exactly what their inventory is and things like that. So we can see what Davy Crockett has here. He's actually got a pistol, a Colt revolver, 1836. So it's brand new apparently, because this is 1836. Some 69 caliber musket balls, some 36 caliber shot, and he's got that Kentucky long rifle. Seems like we're holding them off, which is kind of surprising. It might just mainly be because I'm playing on easy mode. Stand up and fight, dude. Look at some of these guys here. We've got a Texas Ranger named David Cross, Jeffrey Adams, Jarlett Bennett. Look at some of these guys on their feet, laying down. Well, you know, actually laying down is not a bad look from right here, because he's got a decent viewpoint of things. I actually might win this. Now, granted, that's easy mode, so I'm not going to think too highly of myself for that. I wonder if we can come out and kill this guy. Get him! Yes! Take it and like it. Get back inside the fort, guys. Oh! That is not what I meant by get it back inside the fort. I was thinking more, you know, alive. But hey, okay. Man, that was brutal. Okay, here they come. Let's watch these Mexicans. Oh, we still got two guys outside. Not for long, I'm afraid. Yeah, they're inside the fort now. Grenadiers broke through the wall. We cannot keep them. I'm aware. I mean, I knew it was only a matter of time. Fight them off, boys. Fight them off. It was a good run. I love the letter that William Barrett Travis wrote not long before, when he was basically appealing to the Texas government for reinforcements, and he signed it, "Victory or Death," in all capital letters. And that is his legacy. We're down to just a few men left now. Oh, they're everywhere. Who's still alive? We got a doctor. I think at this point that doesn't do me a lot of good. After most of the men were dead, the Mexicans went around just kind of bayoneting and shooting the survivors. Davey killed his Mexicans. Come on. There you go. There's still another one right here. How about we don't just stare in there and look at it? There you go. Oh, he lost his hat. Oh, he's done for now. We're just going to stick with him for the remainder of the time that we have. There's got to be some way to, like, order them to do a melee attack here. No, 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 not Davy Crockett. Not Davy Crockett. No! No! He's still alive. He's still fighting. Yes! He's like, I am not done yet. He's barely hanging on. His health is 176 out of 2,000. I think they got him now. Davy is no more. And here go my artillerymen. We're down to our last 12 defenders. Remember the Alamo. Actually, most of them are right here, it looks like. Some men did try to flee. They tried to get across the, I think the San Antonio River. They were actually run down by the Mexican cavalry as they tried to get out. And of course, most of those men who were originally had set out to come and relieve the Alamo, those 300 men, they only got about a mile and they turned around and went back. Some of them eventually did come, but most of those men were massacred later at a place called Buoyed. Oh, we're down to our last 6. Now 5. The doctor's still alive. They haven't killed the doctor yet. And then there were 4. The men hanging out in the mission are still hanging on.
I'll see you in hell.
I love it. I love the defiance. Keep it up, boys. Lovely hats, by the way. Oh, here they come. Ooh, brutal. So as I mentioned, I'm going to learn to play this game, and we'll do it justice here and there, but I thought it was just a great opportunity to just talk a little bit about the Alamo as we watched the battle unfold. I didn't do a whole lot to kind of change the outcome, as I know there's a lot of depth to this game and a lot I have to learn. Oh, we're down to 2. Just 2. Plus whoever's defending a couple of these guns. Looks like we've got two men defending each of these guns, maybe. I'm assuming that's what that means. Kevin Howard and Gerald Evans alone remain defending. Oh, there went one of them. These guys are just kind of quietly hanging out over in these areas where the Mexicans haven't found them yet. Looks like there's some laundry hung up here. Keep fighting, my friend. Keep fighting. Gerald Evans. Oh, somebody threw a grenade at him. That was not okay. Amazing nobody's killed this guy yet. Oh, there he goes. I spoke too soon. Kevin Howard, you're left, my friend. You alone. Defend the Alamo. Come out and fight. Let's do this right. Yes! Oh, he got back up. Come on. We're going to stand there and reload in front of each other. Oh, not cool. Not cool. I think we still have men defending a couple of these guns. This guy's like down inside the building. That's why they haven't gotten to him. Oh, now they did. We will die, but free Texas never. So what's still happening here? I thought that was the end of it. Yeah, it looks like that's it. The Mexicans have taken the Alamo. Mission completed. Oh, enemy losses 440 men. That's actually pretty historically accurate. Friendly losses 128, so apparently it just made the garrison a little smaller than it was historically, but that's cool. So there you have it. That is the Alamo, and that is just one of a lot of the battles you can fight on this game, which I have a lot to learn about. But what is this? There's something with the Bastille that you can do? It looks like it's loading that next. I wasn't really planning on fighting another battle, so we'll see what that's all about. Looks like it's on Bastille Day, July 14th, 1789. So it may be that it just takes you into another fight right after the first one. So I guess that's another fight you can make. So that's it for now. Just thought it was a great opportunity to talk about the Alamo and get kind of a first look at this game, this mod for Men of War. So now you've seen it. Let me know your thoughts. Is that something you want to see more of? You want to see me take the time to learn this game and play it out a little more? Looking ahead, probably going to have some live streams this weekend. I'll try to announce a schedule for that a little bit in advance so people know what's going on and what I'm going to play. So, as always, thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon. Remember the Alamo.